Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, I am going to be setting up one of the best beginner businesses in the game, and not just beginner businesses, but one of the best businesses in general, being the Acid Lab. The Acid Lab is great for multiple reasons. First of all, it can't be raided. It has single vehicle sale missions, and you can call Mutt on the phone whenever you want to resupply it, making it one of the easiest businesses to resupply in the game. When you pair all of that to the fact that the Acid Lab also earns pretty good hourly income and has a once-a-day double income period, basically the Acid Lab is the king of all passive businesses. Well, maybe the nightclub still takes the cake, but the Acid Lab, the fact that you can get it for free as a beginner is absolutely fantastic. Now, I've already done most of the dirty work. Yesterday, I played on live stream doing all the first dose missions to get the Acid Lab, and I already have it. But I still need to finish the setup missions, which we're going to be doing in today's video, and I have to do the frickin' stupid Fooligan's jobs. Fooligan jobs are really annoying because, sure, they do pay a decent amount, $50,000 for each completion. The problem is they take an insane amount of time, they're very, very annoying, and honestly a bit challenging, especially as a low level. The lower the level you are, the less max health your character has, the worse your character is at shooting, the less ammo you have, you don't have great guns. It's very annoying to do the Fooligan's missions, and you have to do 10 of them, as I mentioned, to get a single upgrade for your Acid Lab. But the problem is, the upgrade is the equipment upgrade. So it's basically the main upgrade to start earning money with the Acid Lab. So it's basically mandatory to do Fooligan's jobs to get your Acid Lab actually effective. It's just really annoying. It's going to take you, with a 48-minute cooldown on each Fooligan's job, I would say at least a week for the average player to get your Acid Lab fully equipped. That's ridiculous. A week to get your Acid Lab fully equipped. And it shows you just why the Acid Lab has a problem. So while it is a pretty effective business, it's a pain in the butt to get set up. We can see my Acid Lab right here, and if we hop over, we can install the equipment for $750,000, which I have just done. It is a fairly expensive purchase, but it is also a mandatory purchase. I know that I'm going to make that money back over a period of time, so it's worth it. Now, if we actually walk onto the customization tab, you can see we have Acid Lab upgrades, and we have the equipment upgrade, and this is where the Fooligan's jobs come into place. Now, so far, I think I've done like 6 or 7 of them, so I still have quite a bit to go, and I'm going to grind those out before I continue today's video, but we can at least continue upgrading the rest of the Acid Lab. What can we do? Well, we can do some EMP mines, which are $150,000, but I'm not going to put those on yet. Wow, I actually can't afford any of these upgrades. Okay, well, I guess what we can do is the engine upgrade and transmission and turbo. Those are really the only upgrades we need. I think it already has bulletproof tires, if I'm not mistaken. It does, so yeah, I don't really care about anything else. We don't need anything else. I mean, we can do the armor upgrade as well. That's probably pretty important, and brakes. So the vehicle's fully equipped on its mobility. I just don't need to put a plow or anything special on it. Right now, we're just going to be using the Acid Lab to earn money. Alright, I'm back, and I just finished a 3-hour live stream where, for most of the stream, I ground out stupid Fooligan's missions. And finally, I have completed enough of them to purchase the upgrade, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We are going to do that right now. Acid Lab equipment done! Yes! That is what I am waiting for. Now, I don't really care about any of the other upgrades, as I mentioned right now. It's a waste of money to put a large scoop or paint it. There's no point when the only reason I'm using the Acid Lab is to earn money. So that is exactly what we're going to do, is ignore the Acid Lab upgrades, and we're going to hop inside of the Acid Lab so that we can purchase our product. I'm actually really happy, though, because the Acid Lab is a great business. It can't be rated, as I mentioned. It's a super, super beginner-friendly property. I'll turn down the audio there so we don't have to listen to anything, but It's just a great business in general. And yes, it's a little annoying to do the Fooligans missions. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do them. But the Fooligans missions pay well, $50,000, and they take like 10 minutes to complete. So you can make decent money with the Fooligans missions, which more than enough pays for the $250,000 upgrade that the Acid Lab costs. But also, once you get the Acid Lab upgraded, there's no more setups or anything you have to do. All you need to do is call Mud on the phone once every 2 to 3 hours to resupply the business and do a sale mission once it is fully stocked. That is as simple as it gets. And because of that, it makes the Acid Lab just absolutely incredible. So I'm actually really happy that this is done. And not only that, but we also have one other thing that we're going to do in today's video. On live stream, I started doing the last dose missions, and I completed all of them but the final one, because I want to get my hands on the Ocelot Virtue. The Ocelot Virtue is one of the best beginner cars in the game. It's an Amani Tech vehicle, it's incredibly fast, and it's an electric vehicle, meaning that you don't even rely on the upgrades, so it's just really, really good in every single situation. So we are going to walk over to Mutt really quickly, and we are going to buy supplies for $60,000, and then I'm also going to boost Acid Lab production, so when the supplies do arrive, we're going to get 48 minutes of boosted production, which is all pretty dang sweet. So I'm done with the Acid Lab. It's fully set up. Now I can have my second passive business available in Grand Theft Auto Online, which is incredibly nice, and I'm actually really, really happy about that. This makes life super duper easy. So to finish off, I am going to do this final Dax mission. By the way, I didn't realize this. The last dose missions actually pay pretty well. Each one gives you $100,000 on your first completion, plus the amount of money you make on the mission. So about $116,000 on average for each mission. That's pretty good. Mission passed. Made $16,000 for completing the mission. Not that much, but as I mentioned before, the major reward is the Ocelot Virtue, and you're going to get, I think, a $250,000 bonus for the first time you complete it. Not sure why my character spawned on Mount Chiliad, because my character wasn't high, but okay. But I just want to see how much we get as a bonus. There you go. Complete all of the missions. All right. Well, we'll take a look. It should pop up into my account, and yep, there you go. $100,000. So not as much as I thought. I thought I was going to get $250,000, but you still get $100,000 for each mission you complete, which is in total $500,000, which honestly is pretty good. And there it is, the Ocelot Virtue, one of my favorite supercars in all of Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm going to keep the livery on it as well. I actually think this livery looks absolutely fantastic. But there it is, the Ocelot Virtue. So I'm actually going to fully upgrade this vehicle before we end off today's video, because the Virtue is a beast. Now, unfortunately, I do not own an agency yet, but if you do own an agency, you can turn this into an Amani Tech vehicle, allowing it to be even better. I'm going to be upgrading this vehicle inside of the Vinewood Car Club, and the reason why is because you have a 10% discount on every upgrade versus a 5% at the auto shop. But if you don't have this available to you, the auto shop is still a great way to upgrade your vehicles, and I would highly recommend to upgrade them there. Honestly, the Virtue is just such a nice looking vehicle. I love the design of it, and well, we're going to make it even better. We're going to do the armor upgrade for $45,000, race brakes, and now we have some options. We can do a big old bumper. We can do a painted bumper, which is probably what I'll go for, but ooh, I don't really like how big this bumper is. I am going to go with the either secondary splitter or primary. Let's go with the secondary super splitter. We got some rear bumpers. I can do a secondary trim, which is a little bit too big if you ask me. It just sticks out too much. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So we are just going to go with kind of this. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to stick with the secondary trim diffuser. I think that'll look pretty nice. Upgrade the engine. We got some canards, which we can put on the front. We can either have none or we can do the big boy canards, and that's what we're doing. Horn doesn't really matter. Sure, we can do xenon lights, although it doesn't really make too much of a difference. So as you can see, obviously we have all the liveries available to me. I like, honestly, a lot of the liveries. I've had this one on my Virtue before. I've had a couple of these on my different Virtues. And out of all the liveries available, I really like the Freedmind one. So we're going to leave that on the car as it is. We got some mirror options. You can either do primary mirrors, carbon mirrors, or secondary. Let's go for secondary. I think that looks sweet. We can do a black license plate, and it says Mindful, which is so epic because it has the Freedmind license plate. So what else are we going to do? Well, we can do canards or no canards. We can do secondary, plastic. I'm going to go for plastic. I think that should be fine. So now we can respray the vehicle. And this is where we can obviously choose what we want it to be. I think red looks really nice with the Freedmind. Personally, Formula Red and Lava Red both look amazing, but I really like Formula Red. So that's what I think I'm going to go with. I mean, there's other options, obviously. I think green also looks really nice with it, the way that it kind of paints its way through. Looks sick, and blue also obviously looks really nice. Ooh. You know what? I take it back. I'm going with this. I really like that midnight blue. That looks amazing on this vehicle. I'm going to go with that. Now we can also change the secondary color, which is the roof and the lower splitter. However, I might just leave it the way it is. I mean, I can make it matte. I could do like a matte black. Ooh, that's kind of cool too, not going to lie. But I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. I actually like that. We can do trim color, though. Let's change that. Let's do that blue as well. I mean, why not, right? Let's make the whole car kind of this really, really... Ooh, I like that blue. That matches the interior really well. So we have some roof designs, and we'll just go for the... Yeah, GT Racing Scoop is the best. We got some skirts we can put on the side. It's kind of hard to see what the skirt designs even are because of the color of the car, but we can kind of get a good idea of them here. I'm going to do this one. I like the secondary racing skirt. That looks fine. We can do a spoiler. I don't really like the spoiler that Freedmind had on it. We have the primary spoiler. We can do the secondary. We can do a plastic aggressive spoiler or an secondary. I like a lot of the spoilers this vehicle has, but... personally, I'm going to go with the aggressive spoiler. I think that looks amazing, so that's what we're going to go with. We got some sun strips that we can put on the vehicle. We can do a bunch of different colors. We'll just do a black sun strip. Lower the suspension. We can do a trunk design, secondary, primary, or carbon. I don't really like carbon that much, so... we're just going to stick with what we have. Wheel type, I actually kind of like the stock rims on this vehicle, not going to lie. I'm going to leave them the way they are. I think chrome looks really nice, and we're going to leave it. We're going to put on our window tint. There you go. Our vehicle is fully finished on its upgrading. I think it looks sick. And it's one of the major reasons why I've always loved the Ocelot Virtue. Now, a great thing for any player is that even if you don't get the upgrades for your Virtue on a Monitech like me and you don't have an agency yet, you only have to put the little upgrades on. There's no like HSW upgrades where there's engine and then engine upgrade HSW. For this vehicle, it's whatever tunes you put on it, and then once you get an agency, you can just put on the additional armor and the homing lock-on jammer. So basically, I just get to drive in a supercar for now, and then when I get my agency, I can fully kit it out. But I love the Ocelot Virtue. It's a great vehicle, and it's definitely worth the grab. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, if you enjoy this type of content and you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll see you in the next one as we continue our grind. Bye-bye!